All right, guys, check it out. What I'm about to do is imply mind manipulation. What's your name?
I'm Nathan.
I want you to relax and stare into my eyes. Think about what I'm thinking about. Share my thoughts. Two minds equaling one fiery mind. Focus, Nathan. Look down, Nathan.
Oh, shit! You just busted a nut. Oh! Yo, look.
Nathan. Look again.
Where'd it go? Oh! Yo! Oh! Yo! Yo, look at man! Hold on, oh, yo! That's man!
How do you do it?
January the 6th is a day that, so I think we have to look very seriously at whether there are going to be more attempts by bad faith strategic actors to exploit the many different steps along the way in the Electoral College to keep revisiting or threatening the popular results.
I have an objection because 10 of the 29 electoral votes cast by Florida were cast by electors not lawfully certified because they violated Florida's prohibition against dual office holding.
Debate is out of order. Is the objection in writing and signed not only by the member of the House of Representatives, but also by a senator?
It is in writing, Mr. President.
Is it signed by a senator?
Not as of yet, Mr. President.
In that case, the objection cannot be entertained.
Madam Speaker, the 2020 election is over and the people have spoken.
I have an objection because 10 of the 29 electoral votes cast by Florida were cast by electors not lawfully certified.
And we are not here, Madam Speaker, to vote for the candidate we want. We are here to recognize the candidate the people actually voted for in the states.
Thank you, Mr. President. I object to a certificate from the state of North Carolina.
The chair has previously ruled a signature from a senator is required. Is there a signature from a senator?
There is a signature from the House of Representatives, myself.
The
and no
objection
signature
cannot
at
be
this point.
received without a signature from the senator.
The effort to overturn the presidential election and grant Donald Trump 4 more years is, and to continue a baseless, conspiracy-fueled threat to our democracy makes no sense.
Is there a signature from a senator?
There is a signature from the House of Representatives, myself.
The
and no
objection
signature
cannot
at
be
this point.
received without a signature from the senator.
Mr. President, I object because people are horrified by the overwhelming evidence
Section
of Russian
18,
interference
Title
in our
3 of the
election.
United States Code prohibits debate in the joint session. Is of the objection in writing not only by the member of the House, but also by a senator.
Mr. President, even with the
There is
malfunction
no
of 87
debate in
voting
order.
machines
Is it
at
signed by a senator?
African-American precincts in Detroit,
gentlelady.
and grave concerns by intelligence officials showing
Objection cannot be entertained.
I object.
Under Section
Mr.
15,
President, I object on
17,
the massive voter suppression
debate
that
is not in
included
order.
counting
Debate is not in order.
ballots that were provisional, that denied individuals access to polling
Gentlewoman will
places.
suspend. Is it signed by a United States Senator?
Not yet. We're seeking
Well,
a United
in that case, the objection cannot be entertained. We'll proceed with the count.
I do not wish to debate. I wish to ask, is there one United States Senator who will join me in this letter
There
of
is no
objection?
debate. There is no debate.
That's one.
The gentlewoman will suspend. The chair has previously ruled a signature from a senator is required.
Mr. President, I object to the certificate from the state of Georgia on the grounds that the electoral votes were not...
Debate. Is the objection in writing and not only signed by the member but by a United States Senator?
Mr. President, even as people waited hours in Georgia...
There is no debate, and if there's not signed by a senator, the objection cannot be entertained.
Mr. President, the objection is signed by a member of the House, but not yet by a member of the Senate.
Well, it is over.
Are there further objections to the certificates from the state of Arizona?
Mr. Vice President, I rise up for myself and 60 of my colleagues to object to the counting of the electoral ballots from Arizona.
Is the objection in writing and signed by a senator?
Yes, it is.
It is. An objection presented in writing and signed by both a representative and a senator complies with the law. The two houses will withdraw from joint session. Each house will deliberate separately on the pending objection and report its decision back to the joint session. The Senate will now retire to its chamber.
The objection is in writing, and I don't care that it is not signed by a member of the Senate.
Madam Speaker, Americans instinctively know there was something wrong with this election. During the campaign, Vice President Biden would do an event and he'd get 50 people at the event. President Trump, at just one rally, gets 50,000 people. President Trump increases vote with African Americans, increases vote with Hispanic Americans, won 19 of 20 bellwether counties, won Ohio by 8, Iowa by 8, and Florida by 3. Got 11 million more votes than he did in 2016, and House Republicans won 27 of 27 toss-up races. But somehow, the guy who never left his house wins the election?
Bruh.
80 million Americans, 80 million of our fellow citizens, Republicans and Democrats, have doubts about this election. And 60 million people, 60 million Americans think it was stolen. But Democrats say, no problem, no worries, everything's fine. We asked for an investigation. We asked Chairman Nadler, Chairwoman Maloney for an investigation. They said no. Wouldn't want to investigate something that half the electorate has doubts about. It's just the presidency of the United States. Why? Why not one single investigation? Why not even one single hearing over the last 9 weeks in the United States House of Representatives? Why? Because all the Democrats care about is making sure President Trump isn't president. For 4.5 years, that's all they've cared about.
What is going on? This guy is crazy. We've got to get him out.
July 31st, 2016, before he was elected the first time, Jim Comey's FBI takes out the insurance policy, opens an investigation on the president based on nothing.
Nothing!
May 17th, 2017, Bob Mueller named special counsel. 2 years, they investigate the Russia hoax, 19 lawyers, 40 agents, and $40 million of taxpayer money for nothing.
Nothing!
No, as I said in my opening statement, that part of the
You stuttering prick yet?
Take my hand and confess to Russian collusion.
Mueller is going to win, even though this...
You seem very confident.
I do.
December 18th, 2019, Democrat House members vote to impeach President Trump based on an anonymous whistleblower with no firsthand knowledge who was biased against the president and who worked for Joe Biden. As hard as they tried, none of that worked. They threw everything they had at him. So what'd they do next? They changed the rules. They changed the election law, and they did it in an unconstitutional fashion. They did an in-run around the Constitution in every state that Republicans will object to today.
A few moments later.
Ain't got a lot to say, but I got more time, the more I stay.
All right, we have learned now that as you can see, the protesters have breached the Capitol. They're inside. They're crossing over Statuary Hall, which is the chamber that separates the House and the Senate. As you can see, they've made their way over into the House side, some of them on the House side, some on the Senate side. Do we know how it is that they were able to get inside the Capitol?
Well, from my vantage point away from the Hill, I don't know exactly which door or doors they were able to breach, but there were clearly protesters and violent protesters who appear to have breached at least one of the doorways. Protesters and violent protesters who appear to have breached at least one of the doorways, if not multiple, of the Capitol building itself. It appears that the sheer number of protesters just overwhelmed whatever capacity that the Capitol Police had to keep people away, and they did not manage to get the doors secured, exterior doors secured quickly enough.
People would come up to me and ask, what do you think is going to happen on January the 6th? Well, what happened was the Capitol Hill police weren't ready. The D.C. police weren't ready. The National Guard wasn't ready. Nobody was ready.
Or was it okay because they are white?
But then Trump supporters come in and you open the fucking doors for them. You open the doors for them and let them breach the people's house. What is wrong with you?
We're learning more tonight about the Capitol police officer who died of injuries from the attack, 42-year-old Brian Sicknick.
The attack led to the deaths of 5 people, including Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick.
Capitol Police say that Officer Sicknick was hurt while physically engaging with rioters. Multiple officers tell me that he was hit in the head with the fire extinguisher.
The acting attorney general says he died of injuries suffered defending the U.S. Capitol against the violent mob who stormed it on January 6th.
The medical examiner has released the cause of death for Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick. It turns out Officer Sicknick suffered a stroke and died of natural causes. Investigators initially believed that he was hit in the head with a fire extinguisher.
Multiple officers tell me that he was hit in the head with the fire extinguisher.
In the mob storming the Capitol, investigators say there were armed white supremacists and anti-government militias. And despite statements from right-wing commentators that Antifa was involved, today the Department of Justice set the record straight, saying that it was not.
A left-wing social justice activist allegedly posing as a journalist was just arrested by the FBI in Utah. The FBI affidavit says he's on video egging on protesters at the Capitol.
And despite statements from right-wing commentators that Antifa was involved, today the Department of Justice set the record straight,
saying that it was not.
Like, I'm just trying to record what he was going in there to document it, but he also was part of the Antifa groups.
I also, want to support the Black community out here too in the best way that I can. That's my belief. I believe the Black Lives Matter.
And John Sullivan, a Black Lives Matter activist who was seen storming the Capitol, has just been arrested.
Despite statements from right-wing commentators that Antifa was involved, today the Department of Justice set the record straight, saying that it was not.
I live my life on the edge, party like a rock star. Pedal to the floor and it doesn't matter how far. Ain't nobody stopping me. Ain't nobody stopping me. Shake down, take down, break down. It's in the air, can you feel it tonight? Shake down, take down, break down. Somebody gon' get it tonight. I'm the
Why are you letting this happen? Why haven't you called for backup? Where is your backup? This is our damn Capitol building, and y'all are letting it get destroyed on your watch. Fuck all of you. Call for backup. Get some help down here. And if they don't want to get you fucking backup, they obviously don't give a shit about you. These people want blood.